All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my friends, depending on where you are watching me. This is Chilion again, just coming for us to have a little talk about topics that I think are very important to us individually, important to our community, important to who we are. So today I want us to talk about anger, and there is a reason why I choose us to talk about anger. Because I feel like when I watch our families, I see a lot of our families being torn apart because of anger. I see our communities being torn apart because of anger. I see our nations torn apart because of anger. I see anger even in the world. I see all the fighting, all the threats of war, and all of those things across the world. And all of those are coming from a place of anger. And I feel that us talking about anger is one step. It's not the solution, but it is a step towards us finding a solution to the problem. So, what I want to first of all ask myself or ask any one of us is that what is anger? To me, anger is nothing but an emotion. It's just an emotion. We're created by God and we were given so many different kinds of emotion. For example, we're given the emotion of fear, and God gave us that emotion for a constructive purpose. For example, when we had the whole COVID outbreak from China, and we're hearing about all the crazy things that were happening in China with COVID, lots of people across the world freaked out. And in the United States that I was, people rushed to grocery stores. They stocked their house with so much food, bread, milk, so much food, in anticipation that if we have the same level of outbreak in the United States, we would be in a better position than what China was. So we could lock ourselves in our house and still be able to get life going. So that's fear. That's a product of fear. We saw that danger was coming, and then because we are afraid, it helps us to take the right action. So fear itself is a constructive emotion. It's a good emotion. It's also emotion like sorrow, right? It's also an emotion. For example, if a single mother who has maybe three kids goes out to fetch for his family, and upon returning or something, she gets ran over by a vehicle and she dies. It has a way it makes us feel pathetic. So the emotion of sorrow gets activated, and it wants us to step up to do something, maybe to help that family, sponsor somebody, do a fundraiser or something. So those are emotions. And anger also falls within the same category of emotion. And what does anger do for us? Anger helps us to be alert about injustice, about unfairness. Most of the times when we are angry because we believe that someone or yourself is treated unfairly or there is some form of injustice. So anger gets activated because of that injustice, and it becomes to us like a call for us to speak out, a call for us to stand up for yourself or for some other person who cannot stand up for themselves. And that is a good emotion. It's a wonderful emotion that God gave us, for things like that. So anger in itself, it's not bad. That's why even the Bible says that be angry, but do not sin. So if anger was a bad emotion, the Bible itself would not say be angry. It would say do not be angry. But it says be angry, but do not sin. And if it was that bad, God would not have given us that emotion. But it's a good thing. So anger is like fire. Fire is used to cook food, the delicious food we eat. Fire is used to transform hard metals into gold chains, into gold watches and stuff like that, and lots of other beautiful things that we like. But the same fire can be used to burn down a house, to burn down a community, to even destroy lives. So are we going to say fire is bad? No, fire is not bad. It's what we use fire for that makes fire bad. You can find yourself in a bad marriage, right? But you have two options of the two routes you can go when you find yourself in a bad marriage. You can be like, you know what? I don't want anybody else to find himself or herself in a marriage like this. And so out of that, you decide to become a counselor. Look for other younger people who are aspiring to getting married, couples who are looking forward to get married, and say, I'm going to counsel them. Let them know what marriage really is and let them know what to expect out of marriage so that they can have a better experience than I have. Or you yourself can go seek for help because you don't like the status quo of your marriage. So you're taking some constructive actions. On the other hand, you could also act like this. Like a gentleman had done this right here in the United States in Texas. You can go get a gun and then you pull the trigger at your wife. So the anger that you had because of the kind of marriage you were in has the potential to produce a vision and has the potential to produce murder to cause you to take life away. But the anger itself wasn't bad because that anger can produce a vision. So the anger itself is not bad. So anger is not bad. It's what we do when we are angry is what makes anger bad. So anger was actually given to us by God for a constructive purpose. But because we don't know how to manage anger, how to use anger constructively, so most of the time we use anger destructively. Now, enough about the problem statement. If you know me, I don't like to talk about a problem if I don't have a proposal for a solution to put on the table. So the question is, how can we use anger constructively? So I have a few points that I have on how I think we can be able to use anger constructively. I think the first thing is to be angry. The first step to using anger constructively is to be angry. Because I believe that you can never change anything that you are not angry about. You must be angry about something for you to change it. If you are not angry about your life, if you feel you're broke, if you feel you're poor, if you feel your life could be better, for you to change your life, it begins from you being angry about the way your life is. If you're not angry about it, you would not be able to change it. People like Martin Luther King were able to make a change in America because they were angry about the way blacks were treated in America. Nelson Mandela was able to bring a change and write his name in the history of South Africa because he was angry about the way blacks were treated in South Africa. So until you are angry about something, you really cannot change that thing, because anger is like a fuel for action. Anger is it's a force that transforms a desire for change into action. It sets that desire into motion. You might sit all day and you desire to see things differently. You desire to see our community better. You desire to see your life better. That desire would never come into fruition. But when you get to a point where you become, the desire is not coming forth like a wish list to you, you then become angry about it, and then the anger sets you to motion. So anger is a drive that sets a desire into action. Now, the next thing I'd say that can help us to lose anger constructively is do not ignore or do not hide your anger. Many a times we're angry and we have someone ask us, "You angry?" And you say, no, I'm not angry. Just because you probably feel inferior about expressing your anger. No, don't hide your anger. Speak about your anger. Sit down and think about your anger. Examine your anger. Give your anger an attention. If you are ignoring your anger, what is probably happening is that you are locking down a change. You are holding a change that somebody needs that change. And you are ignoring that anger, you're locking it down, you are holding back a change that could transform our community. So do not lock down your anger. The next point is you need to know how to catch your anger. How do you catch your anger? And how do you channel your anger? I always liken anger to be like energy. Like energy. If you channel energy appropriately into your house, it will give you electricity, it will give you lights. You will be able to watch a movie, you'll be able to cook, you'll be able to use the microwave, you'll be able to use all the gadgets in your house, and you'll have a very nice time. But if you don't know how to channel the anger appropriately into the house to the right devices at the right level, it will become very destructive. You're going to blow down the TV, blow down the fridge, and the whole house will be set on fire because you have not channeled the energy appropriately. It's the same thing with anger. We can have genuine anger, but we cannot just go about everywhere and anybody we see and then just expressing the anger on a 10 on 10. There are some people you express the anger at the 5 on 10, some at the 2 on 10, some at the 3 on 10. You need to know how to catch your anger and how to channel your anger, because it might lead you to lose relationship with the people who actually want to help that anger to produce something good. So you need to know how to catch your anger and how you will channel your anger. The next thing is that You can actually use your anger to fuel your dreams. One of my great mentors, Dr. Miles Monroe, late Dr. Miles Monroe, always said that if you have a challenge identifying your purpose, he said that this is a formula. Ask yourself, what is that one thing that always, whenever I pass across it, it makes me so angry? Other people might see that issue, they would not be angry about it, they'll just walk past it and they just go like nothing happens. But each time you are around that, you are so angry in your spirit about it. He says, if you can identify that thing that makes you so angry all the time, that's probably your purpose. Some people would drive by downtown and see those homeless people under the bridges, and it means nothing to them. They will not even be able to give a dime to them, even if they have it. Others, when they see that, it breaks their heart so much, they feel so sad, they feel so bad. That could just be their purpose, to help to bring a shelter to these people, to transform the community with that. You can use, you might come from a family that is not well-to-do, that is a minority family or a minority community, and you might need that anger for the fact that you come from that community to fuel your dreams. They believe that people from my tribe, people from my region, people from my family cannot amount to anything, and you are filled with anger is that, you know what? I am going to climb the ladder in the corporate world. I'm going to climb the ladder in the government. I'm going to climb the ladder in a career. I will become a medical doctor because I am angry at how the people from my community are being regarded. Sometimes you don't need a motivational speaker. All you need is your anger. And that will catapult you into your dreams. The last point that I have to say is, if you feel led in your spirit, you can transform your anger, or you can create a vision, or you can create a vision out of your anger. Create a vision out of your anger. Of course, you cannot create a vision about every little thing you see out there, but there are a few things that you can say, I'm going to create a vision, out of this. For example, we have this lady, what's her name? She was very philanthropic in India, Mother Teresa, right? Who was angry about seeing people who were, not opportune, who were needy and poor, and she created a vision out of that. So if you are led, you can create a vision out of that anger. I will end by saying this. I know most of you listen to me, almost everyone who's listening to me is angry about something. We are angry about many things. But if you can look through all those things that you're angry about, and you can choose one and try to create a vision out of one. Everybody, create one vision out of the many things you're angry about. Choose one and create a vision out of it. We will have a better community. I'll end by telling you a story that I listened from an African lady who told me this. That she grew up in an African country and a community where women were being marginalized, they were being taken advantage of, they were being maltreated by men. Some of them were getting pregnant at a very young age. Nobody could stand up to them. Their future was messed up. They ended up in the farms and just having kids and just end up like that. And she was so angry in her spirit that there's nobody to stand up to the women. Because she was so angry, then she told herself, I am going to study to become a lawyer, to be the defense for women. And she's doing just that right now. She was angry. She caught her anger. She channeled her anger into education, went through the process. Now she's a lawyer in her community defending women. Out of that her anger now is a blessing to her community. So anger is not a bad thing. How we use anger is what makes it good or bad. I hope this is helpful. Talk to you next time. Thank you for listening.